Should I go over there?
Unless you have a really long stick to light the candles from over here, we'll go over there. What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to sing a couple tunes first.
Should
Alrighty.
I sit?
So
Because
you can sit there if you want to stay up here and sing with me. I don't know what I'm going to sing yet. But it's going to be on page 128 and 129. I don't know whether it'll be go to something.
I probably know.
Huh?
I probably know it.
What do you like on the page? Huh? Seen my toe? What else?
Yehid Nefesh.
Huh?
Yehid Nefesh.
Nefesh, we'll do those two.
Alright.
Cool.
Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam
Page
yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Right there on page 28 in the middle of the page.
Yehid nefesh av harachaman, Yehid nefesh av harachaman, Mishloch avdecha el retzonecha, Mishloch avdecha el retzonecha. Yarutz avdecha kemo ayah, yishtachave yalai el muhadarecha. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Mishach avdecha el retzonecha. Mishach avdecha yalai el retzonecha. Yarutz avdecha kemo ayah, yishtachave yalai el muladarecha.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's a beautiful Shabbat evening, and it is also a beautiful Bat Mitzvah weekend of Sarah, who's joining us up here on the bima. I'm going to wait till they clap. I'm not doing anything till they clap. There we go. We're all going to turn back to page 120 in our Siddur, and I'm going to invite anybody who happens to be sitting in the second row on this side, that's your family, to come on up and join Sarah over here on this side of the bima as we light our Shabbat candles. Thank you, everyone. Sarah gets to have a little breather for a couple of minutes, and she'll be joining us for a good chunk of our service coming up in just a few pages. But we're going to make our way through Kabbalat Shabbat as we say goodbye to the week and hello to a restful Shabbat. L'chu neranena l'Adonai, let us sing joyfully to God, Psalm 95 on page 130. L'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'chu neranena l'Adonai. L'chu neranena, l'chu neranena, l'chu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Lekadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria Lo. Lechu neranina, Lechu neranina, Lechu neranina al Adonai. Lechu neranina, Lechu neranina, Lechu neranina Adonai. Page 131 from Psalm 96. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, sing to God a new song. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, let all the earth sing a new song to God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shiru Ladonai. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. From Psalm 97 on page 132, near the bottom of the page. 4 lines from the bottom of the Hebrew. Or zaru alat tzaddik ul yishrei lev simcha. For those who are righteous and who are good-hearted, we will be rewarded, the psalm says, with light and with happiness in our world. Or zaru alat tzaddik ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru alat tzaddik ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru alat tzaddik ul yishrei lev simcha. Ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru alat tzaddik ul yishrei lev simcha. Ul yishrei lev simcha. Lai 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 turn to page 135. Psalm 99. Let's read together at the bottom of the page in English, and then we'll sing the last part in Hebrew. 135, Psalm 99. Adonai enthroned on cherubim is sovereign. Peoples tremble, the earth quakes. Adonai is great in Zion and exalted above all peoples. They praise your name is great and awesome. God is holy. Mighty ruler who loves justice. It was you who established equity. You who worked righteous judgment in Jacob. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down to God's footstool. God is holy. Exalt Adonai our God and bow toward God's holy hill. For Adonai our God is holy. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. We turn to page 136 and 137. You'll read together with me in the English Psalm 29, a psalm that speaks of God's power in the universe. A psalm of David. Ascribe to Adonai, O divine beings. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders, Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai is power. The voice of Adonai is majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedars. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes hinds to calve and strips forest bare. While in God's temple all say glory. Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. Adonai sits enthroned sovereign forever. May Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being. The last two lines of that psalm. Adonai oz le'amo yitin. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Lai 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 lai. Adonai oz amor yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Lai 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 Page 138 and 139, we come to L'chadodi. Now, Sarah, becoming bat mitzvah means that in the eyes of the Jewish community, you are counted in the minyan now, right? Which means you have great responsibilities to solve the great problems of the world, along with all the other people who have reached the age of bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah, right? All right, we're going to solve one of them now. All right, you ready? All right, are we going to sing? Or are we going to do? Or are we going to do? First, second, or third? Second one, it is one of the great important mysteries of the world to solve. Now we have the other one. All right. Are we doing verses 1 and 2 and then 5 and 9? Or are we singing all 9 verses? She said all 9 verses. No, I made that up. She said 1, 2, 5, and 9. There we go. You're not mic'd right now, so they don't know what you really said. Which one did you pick? Now I forgot already. Lecha, lecha. That one? Cool, we're going to do that one. Page 138 and 139, verses 1 and 2 on page 138, verses 5 and 9 on page 139. Well, since you chose it, are you going to come up and sing it with me? Yeah, of course you are. I know it's not on the list of things, but you know it, so we're going to do it together. Ready? Here we go. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela, la, 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 lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'liti la 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 la, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'ma shebachi la 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 la, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, kibod Adonai alayich, nigala la 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 la, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. We rise as we face the door to greet the Shabbat bride. Boli v'shalom, ateret bala, gam v'simcha uv'zola, tov chamineyam segula, boi chala, la 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 la, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela, la 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 la, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nikabela. We've greeted Shabbat. Let's greet each other. Please turn to the people around you and wish everyone Shabbat Shalom. And for those of you online on templeshalom.com and on our YouTube channel, Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Please be seated and join me on page 140. Okay. Please sit down and join me on page 140.
Psalm 92. Psalm 92, the Psalm of Shabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It is good to give thanks to God on Shabbat. U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, and to sing of God's name most high. And we'll join with Sarah on page 140.
Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha baleilot, alei asor ve'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Ki simachtani Adonai befa'olecha, b'ma'aseh yadecha aranein. Ma gadlu ma'asecha Adonai me'od, amku mashchebotecha. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, u'lezamer l'shimcha elyon.
We continue as we turn to page 142. As we welcome in those images of those angels that watch over us as we make our way through Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashare, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashare, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo'achin Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nida Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nida Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, 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 la 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 la. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashare, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We bring our Kabbalat Shabbat to a close, page 144, with Chatzi Kaddish.
ויתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעמד יברחיר תביא מיך מלכותי, בחייכון אביון מכון, ובחיי דחו בישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב וימרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם על מעלמיה, יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרמם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקדשה, ברכו לילן מנחה ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמה, וימרו, Amen.
Please rise, page 146, as we'll join Sarah in inviting ourselves to gather together to pray with Baruch Hu.
Lai 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 yai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
All right, Sarah, go like this. Take your hands. Go like this. And watch. You have all the power. Ready? Watch what happens. Ready? Now move your hands down. Ready? Go. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It's like a magic trick, huh? We continue on page 148. We'll read together in the English at the bottom of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, you may reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ari Ha'aravim. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Page 150. We give thanks for the gift of Torah, for all of its lessons. Tomorrow morning, as part of her bat mitzvah morning, Sarah's going to teach us a few lessons, one really big one and a couple of others to go along with it from this week's Torah portion. But every week we try to see if we can find one little nugget, one little bit of wisdom that we might find in the Torah. And some of us find it in the words that are actually on the physical scrolls. They're in that ark right over there. And some of us find it in looking up to the mountains or out to the ocean. Some of us find it looking into the eyes of others. But every day there's always that one little bit of Torah that's out there waiting for us to grasp it. And for that we give thanks. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Ukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadita Otanu limadita Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochenu Kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hein chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nehege yoma v'layla Nehege yoma v'layla Ve'ahavatcha al tasir Imenu le'olami Baruch ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael. As we turn to page 152 and 153, we'll join together as Sarah leads us through the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha Uvechol nafshecha Uvechol meodecha Ve'hayu Hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom alevavecha Veshinantam levanecha V'dibarta bam B'shivtecha beveitecha Uvleftecha baderech Uvshofbecha uvkumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha V'hayu letotafot beineinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzah beitecha uvish arecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lo'elechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 156. Hey, Sarah. Question. Do you know in the Friday night service what your mom's favorite prayer melody is? It would have to be page 156. That's why I'm asking you now, and everybody's already on that page. Yes. So we're going to invite your mother to come up and join you because we know that she loves this particular melody. So this melody was written by a rabbi by the name of Moshe Rothblum. Oh, if you come regularly on Friday nights every few weeks, we wind up singing this particular melody. Rabbi Moshe Rothblum is a rabbi in North Hollywood, California. He's still alive. He's 80-something years old. He's the rabbi emeritus of Adat Ariel in North Hollywood. And the music that you know better, probably, that everybody in America knows that he wrote, goes, Vishamru B'nei Israel, right? He wrote that, but also he wrote some other beautiful Shabbat music. And the melody for these words of Emet Ve'emunah at the top of page 156 is another beautiful melody that he wrote. I'm just going to be the guitar player, and I'm going to let them sing, and you can sing along with them too. You guys ready? Here we go.
Emet ve'emunah, emet ve'emunah, emet ve'emunah, kozot ve'kayam aleinu, emet ve'emunah, kozot ki Adonai Eloheinu ve'ein zulato v'anachnu Yisrael, Yisrael amo. Emet ve'emunah, emet ve'emunah, emet ve'emunah, kozot ve'kayam aleinu, emet ve'emunah, kozot.
Thank you, Rivka. Moses and Miriam and all the children of Israel sang joyfully at the sea. We celebrated Pesach just a couple of weeks ago, celebrating this beautiful journey of freedom. We'll join together with Sarah in the words of Michamocha, their song of freedom, which becomes our song of freedom, the top of page 158. Lai, lai.
Lai 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 lai. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha ne'tar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, Bokei hayam libnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Lai 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 lai
V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ugo'alo miyad chazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai go'al Yisrael. We'll turn to page 160. We ask God to lie us down in peace, cause us to rise again tomorrow to life. And while we sleep, protecting us from enemy, illness and war, from sorrow and wrongdoing. We ask God to watch over us each and every hour and spread a shelter of peace over us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu v'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu v'chayim. That indented 3 lines on 116. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoinu l'chaim u'shalom ve'ata ve'ad olam. Lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 lai. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomreinu v'chayim. Shomreinu v'chayim. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei sukat shalom Alim ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162. That other melody that Rabbi Rothblum wrote, it celebrates the beauty of Shabbat. The people of Israel will keep Shabbat. It will be a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel, God says. For in 6 days God created the heavens and the earth. And on the 7th day, God rested.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם.
You will all please rise. We'll join together with Sarah, beginning on page 164, and eventually making our way through 180 and 181 with our evening Amidah.
Adonai sefatav tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mivid Gola Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Oser Shia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechai HaKol Atah, Rav Le'oshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rafech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'el Gevurot Umidom Elach Melech Memit Umechayim Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Talachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Kadosh Shemcha Kadosh U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh
172 through 180 or 173 through 181. You pray silently when you're finished with your own silent prayers. Please be seated. Page 178. Prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Atahu Melech Adon L'chol HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon L'chol HaShalom Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael Bechol eit ubechol sha'ah bishlomecha Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam.
We'll turn the page to the very next page, not far from the bottom. Oseh Shalom, we continue thinking about and singing about the idea of peace.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Oseh Shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen Ya'aseh Shalom Ya'aseh Shalom Shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ya'aseh Shalom Ya'aseh Shalom Shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
This week we are going to be reading from a section of the Torah called Kiddushim. And tomorrow morning, Sarah is going to teach us a little bit about some of the parts that we're going to read tomorrow morning. But I want to talk generally about this section of the Torah because it actually holds a very important place in our Jewish lives. Now, on Yom Kippur, we read Leviticus chapter 18. Well, we used to read Leviticus chapter 18. Now we read Leviticus chapter 19. Why did we switch? I'll tell you. If you go to an Orthodox synagogue on Yom Kippur, you will hear Leviticus chapter 18. If you go to about half, maybe slightly less than half now, of the conservative movement synagogues, you will hear Leviticus chapter 18. If you go to the other half, slightly more than half now, of the conservative movement, pretty much all of the Reconstructionist movement, all of the Renewal movement, all of the Reform movement, you will instead hear chapter 19 of the book of Leviticus. And why? Well, it's about being holy. This week's Torah portion is called Kiddushim. It means holiness. It's in the plural. Holinesses. Okay, we're going to make up a word. Holinesses. That's what it means. Plural of being holy. Now, Leviticus chapter 18, which is in last week's Torah portion, it ends that whole section that we read on Yom Kippur. It tells you who you're allowed to sleep with. That's what it tells you. You may not sleep with this person. You may not have sexual relations with this person and this person and this person and this person. And on Yom Kippur, that's what we read, because that apparently tells you how to be holy. Over time, people said, I don't know that I relate to that so much about being holy. But chapter 19, which we're going to read tomorrow morning, Sarah's going to read a part of it tomorrow morning. Chapter 19 says, you will be holy because I, Adonai, your God, am holy. And here's what you need to do to be holy. And it gives us dozens and dozens of laws to follow so that we could be holy. And on Yom Kippur, the day where we are examining and purifying our souls, maybe that's what we need. A lot of categories of how to be holy, and not the one that everybody kind of says ooh when they look at the words in our machzor. And so what does it mean to be holy? The word kedoshim, kadosh, we use the word kiddush, right? The sanctification of the wine, the holiness of the wine is the kiddush. Kaddish, we have Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. We have Chatzi Kaddish, the half Kaddish. We have Kaddish Shalim, the full Kaddish. We won't say that one tonight, but we will say it tomorrow morning. There's a burial Kaddish and there's a rabbi's Kaddish, 5 different Kaddishes. All of these Kaddishes means holiness. All these various kinds of holiness. Holiness in our service, holiness when we bury someone, holiness when we study. But what does it really mean to be holy? And if we look in this section of the Torah, it tells us you will do this and this and this. And most of the 10 Commandments make their way into this section of the Torah. Not in the order of the 10 Commandments, but those ideas are all in there. And there are other ideas as well. But what does it really mean to be holy? Kadosh is the opposite of chol. Chol means profane. So holy is the opposite of profane. I don't know if that helps you much because I'm not sure I know what profane, I know what profanity is, and that's not what profane is. They're different things. Profane means that if you open the dictionary, and I did this, I looked in the dictionary, and I looked up profane, and in there it said, the definition, that which is not holy. And then I looked up in the dictionary, holy, and it said, that which is not profane. And I thought, this dictionary is wasting my time. And what really is being holy? Well, I thought about this idea that right before this section of the Torah, we read a week ago about some different offerings that are made in the temple. And we have a peace offering. I want peace. I have peace. I either ask for it or I give thanks for it. Got it. Sin offerings. I committed a sin. I need to atone for my sin. I make an offering. I get that. And then we have this other offering called a tenufa offering. And a tenufa offering, usually it's translated in 2 different ways. Either it's an elevation offering or it's a wave offering. Why a wave offering? Because they would take the grain and wave it over the smoke on the altar. And I thought, an elevation offering. We're in Colorado Springs, we live at elevation. So is it about that? No. And then I went and read a little bit more about these offerings. And an elevation offering is about what it kind of sounds like. It's about lifting up. And so the rabbi said it's about because they would lift up the cow or the goat or the sheep that they were offering on the altar, and then they would wave the grain in front of it. But if we know that a peace offering is about peace, and a sin offering is about sin, an elevation offering is really about holiness. Because holiness is the act of elevating something. Before we eat, we say hamotzi, or one of the other blessings for eating. Now, in the Talmud, it talks about the idea that you are not allowed to eat anything unless you say a blessing. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav in the Hasidic era, he said it this way, taking it out of the Talmud. He said, if you eat an apple and you don't say a blessing, you are a thief. Because you didn't give thanks for that apple. What's the big deal? It's just an apple. I mean, especially if you're eating one of those boring gala apples. I mean, if you're eating a Honeycrisp apple, you should be jazzed about that. Or a jazz apple, for that matter. You can be jazzed about that, too. They're very sweet and they're great. Like a gala apple, Red Delicious. Like, I don't know if I even want to be thankful for a Red Delicious, because it has, like, no flavor, right? Like the other apples. But even for the boring apples, I should say a blessing. For the good apples and the boring apples. For the sweet grapes and the sour grapes. Literally the sour grapes, not sour grapes with another person, like literally when the grape is sour. Everything I eat, I should give thanks. Why? It elevates the act of eating. Because other living beings, our animals that live around us, they don't say a blessing before they eat. But we do. It elevates eating. Years ago, in the early 1950s, for the first time ever, a king from Africa came to Egypt, or came to Israel. Came from Africa, Egypt and Africa. A king from Africa came to Israel. And the chief rabbis of Israel had a dilemma, because there's a blessing that you say over a king coming to visit. But there's also a blessing that you say when someone looks different than you do. And the chief rabbis of Israel said, the king is a black man. We need to say a blessing for a black man entering into Israel, because nobody here looks like that, because the Ethiopian Jews hadn't come to Israel yet, etc. And so they had a dilemma. Do you say the blessing for the guy who looks different? Or do you say the blessing for a king? Which one do you say first? And of course, they argued over it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And how did they decide? When the king showed up at the airport, one of the rabbis got up, grabbed the microphone, so he won the debate. I honestly don't know which one he said first. I just know that he grabbed the microphone, and so he was the one who got to decide what the rule was, because no one else grabbed the microphone. And the real answer is this: it doesn't matter which blessing he said first. That's why I never looked up to see which one it was. Because both of those blessings were elevating the person who was coming to visit Israel. Every time we do something that is a mitzvah, we elevate someone else, or we elevate the world, or we elevate ourselves. It's our modern way of having an elevation, the tenufa, an elevation offering. In everything we do, this Torah portion tells us, with dozens and dozens and dozens of laws. There's a lot of laws in this portion. All kinds of things that we can do to elevate the world around us. And if we can do one of them, you don't have to do all the dozens. I mean, it would be great if you did. But if you could do one of these dozens of things in this portion every day and elevate the world for that moment, it would be an amazing thing. Hey, Sarah, do you know what the first one is? You didn't read it, so you don't have to know. I'm just curious if you knew. It says that you're supposed to be in awe of your mother and your father. I'm just checking, yeah? This week, at least a couple of times maybe? Okay, good, just check it. Be in awe of another person. Someone who taught you something, someone who leads you somewhere. Take care of a person who needs clothes or food or whatever it is they may need. Put a smile on someone's face. Be grateful for the apple. Be grateful for that great smelling flower that you walked by. Be grateful that someone else smiled at you. Every one of those things is an elevation offering before God. And when we elevate before God, we create holiness. And every little bit of holiness leads to another bit of holiness, which leads to another bit of holiness. And the cycle continues. As we study this week's portion, Kedoshim, holinesses, to create a word, we should have more than one holiness in our day and more than one in our world. May we all have the blessing to bring holiness into the world. If you're not sure how to do that yet from me talking tonight, come tomorrow morning, because Sarah's going to give you another couple of great ideas of how you might create holiness in the world during her drosh. So if you come tomorrow morning, you might get another couple of ideas how you can elevate before God and create more holiness. May we all have that blessing. Amen. We continue as we turn to page 371 in our Siddur. We think of those who are in need of healing. We ask for God to bring complete healing to Gunendel Batsima, Aharon ben Abraham Basara, Stanley Sachs, Lisa Stark, Rose Dymek, Lucas Bartelt, Janice Broder, Lisa Lead, Merle Haber, Baral Yaakov ben Abraham Shalom, Lynn Sieberson, Susan Schenk, Ruvain ben Shlomo Mordechai Betzipora, Rachel Howell, Trudy Ishbitz, David Zimmerman, Kathy Twerdock, Bob Lead, Cheryl Ness, Matthew Billings, Zelda Bat Esther Profeta, Brandy Davis, Faye Green, Frederick Kaufman, Janice Broder, Yapa Bat Max, and Jane Neff. Are there any others that anyone has? We'll start on this side of the room. Thank you. Thank you. Any others on this side of the room? Any? Thank you. Any others? Any on this side? Names for healing. For all those we've named and for all those in need, we ask God to bring every one of them refuah shlema min hashamayim, complete healing from the heavens. Bimheira v'yameinu, may it come to each and every one of them as quickly as possible. Misheberach avoteinu mekor habracha ve'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imoteinu mikor habracha ve'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. If you'll turn to page 507, 570. We're in the middle of our period of the Omer. Hineni mukhan muzuman, hineni mukhan muzuman, hineni mukhan muzuman, lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom 18 yom, shehem shtei shvuot ve'arba yamim la'omer. Today is the 18th day of the Omer, which is 2 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. May each day of the Omer bring us a new and beautiful blessing. Page 586, we rise. The bottom of the page, as Sarah leads us, as we begin the words of Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגיא הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם כלכנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו וגורן מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
The middle of 590. כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
You can all be seated. In our yard sites this week, we recall the memories of Irving Harris, Joe Siegel, Sylvia Chook, Ann Pfeffer Shea, Faye Thorner, Hananya Kilasi, Marjorie Leonard, Rose Weissler, Alvin Israel, Archie Lewides, Ellis Hanwitt, Eugene Finkelstein, Sam Nash, Samuel Cohen, Catherine Rubin, Esther Rosenzweig, Herman Harris, Rabbi Melvin Glazer, Morris Siegel, George Hawley, Isidore Buckstein, Joseph Morris, Kyla Tillum, Luba Gendelev, and Martha Dedrick. Are there any other yard sites that anyone is observing this week? Any others? Yehu zichronam levracha. May their memories be an eternal blessing. We ask mourners to rise and those whose custom it is to stand with them. As we turn to page 598, and in their memory we sanctify God's name. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayid chol beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zban kari v'imru amen. V'hei Shmei Rabbah mevorach ve'olam u'mei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei d'kudusha b'richu. Ve'ela min kol virchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata d'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. V'hei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom dimrama huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Vimru. Amen. You can all be seated. Danny Elston from our board of directors will share with us some announcements. We have some important stuff coming up in the next few weeks. I'll start off with the first one. Tomorrow it's Sarah's bat mitzvah. There's also some other stuff. It's probably important too, but I don't know.
Well, you took that one away from me. Thank you all for coming tonight, and for all the people who are on Zoom. It's not Zoom anymore, is it? It's
It's on
Facebook.
YouTube and templeshalom.com live. 'Cause
Yeah.
That sounds really fancy.
Okay, that. If you're new or visiting the temple for the first time, Baruch ha'abayim, please be sure to introduce yourself if you haven't already and let us welcome you. We're really happy that you're here. Thank you, Rabbi Sherwood, for leading us. Thank you, Rabbi Jay, call him that, for leading us this evening. And thanks go to everyone who participated in the service this evening. Mazel Tov, that's you, and Beth, and the other people who helped. Mazel Tov to Ifantis and Rivka Gitau on their daughter's Sarah's bat mitzvah, and to the entire Gitau and Kabia families. And I'm skipping down here because we have another bar mitzvah coming up in a couple of weeks. Are you looking up? Let me find it. So we have another one coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'll get to that in a second. Sunday, May 19th, is our annual congregational meeting. This meeting starts at 9 with breakfast with the board. Call to order is at 10 o'clock. Every member should have the documents emailed or mailed to them already. There are still several in-person and Zoom meetings if you want to hear about the changes to the bylaws with members of the bylaws committee.
And, Danny, we should add, because I know it's not in the announcements there, this to me is the most important announcement. I don't know if it's important, but it's exciting. Breakfast with the board on the 19th. I'm so happy about this. I'm excited about this. There will be, this is how excited I am, there will be no bagels.
Yeah, no bagels
No
this time.
bagels on the 19th. We're going to have there's going to be breakfast burritos and all kinds of other great stuff. But we have bagels. Every time we have breakfast, we have bagels. We're going to have breakfast without bagels. It's going to be, you should come just for that reason. It's that great. I'm excited. Come for the burritos, stay for the meeting.
Stay for the
There you
vote,
go, exactly.
because we do need to make sure we have a quorum here, because we're voting on bylaws and we're voting on new members of the board, and you have to do it in person. Let's see, you can register for the congregational meeting at templeshalom.com, and logged-in members can find documents for the congregational meeting on the member news. And just in case you were wondering, what else is going to happen that day? After the meeting, we're going to have the barbecue. It's back. So after the congregational meeting, there will be a barbecue put on by the men's and women's club. And you don't need to do a separate registration. Boy, that was a long paragraph. Friday, May 24th, Bluegrass Shabbat with Nefesh? Did I say it? Nefesh Mountain Band. And yeah, and in addition,
Bring your friends.
yeah, and in addition,
Bring people who aren't your friends. Just bring everybody.
yeah, anybody wants to come. And in addition to that, it is the fourth Friday Shabbat potluck dinner. Thank you, Beth, for getting that started. She didn't even hear me.
And also, there's a rumor I heard about Friday night, the 24th. Not only will Nefesh Mountain be here and I'll be sitting in, I'll be their extra guitar player for the night, but there's a rumor I heard there might be another guest musician treating us to some beautiful music that evening. Is that still a yes? Yeah? His name might be Colin, but I don't know. It's only a rumor. I don't know anything about it, but if you don't come on May 24th, you'll never know.
And it's a potluck Shabbat and wonderful music. How much better can it get? And now we have again, is it pronounced Colin? All right, I wanted to make sure. Colin Rosenberg will be called to the Torah on Saturday, May 25th. Join their parents' family and Temple Shalom congregants in an enthusiastic Mazel Tov to him and his parents, Jason and Alicia. Join them as well for Saturday morning services on May 25th. And again, you can register on templeshalom.com. Sunday, June 2nd, starting at the location of the First Synagogue in Colorado Springs at 2:30, to the Sons of Israel Cemetery at 3:15, to a reception at Temple Shalom, 4 o'clock. The event in the beginning will be dedicating the 2 historic Jewish monuments in Colorado Springs. Expect a postcard in your mailbox.
Just to clarify, I see a lot of confused faces. Sunday,
I'm so
June
confused.
2nd, a really, really beautiful event. You should come and join us. There's going to be a marker to mark the place where the first synagogue in Colorado Springs was located. It's now called America the Beautiful Park. But there was the synagogue, the very first synagogue was there. On that Sunday, we are dedicating a marker to mark that place. Great thanks go to the Superstein family for helping us get that monument placed there. Afterwards, we're going to go to Sons of Israel Cemetery and dedicate a marker there to the founders of the cemetery who opened the cemetery in 1903. And then we're going to come back here for a reception. We are working right now on having some city representation. Either the mayor or the mayor's outreach director, one of the two, are going to be there with us. It's going to be a really, really nice event. And if you're not doing anything on that Sunday, you should come. If you are, see if you can postpone that thing you're doing and come to this. It's really going to be a beautiful thing to celebrate the Jewish heritage of our city. So come to that, and there's going to be great food afterwards. So it's going to be really, really nice.
Will there be food?
There will, of course, there'll be food. There'll be like a catered event right afterwards. So it's going to be, it'll be great. We're Jews. There's going to be food.
Please support. We have security here. Please tell the guard when you leave how much we appreciate his being here. Anyway, we're asking for anybody to help contribute with our security expense. There's a link available on the page on templeshalom.com. And thanks to everybody who's donated an extra to our security fund to date. As everybody, this is no secret, our security is heightened. Please follow the security protocols. And if you have any questions about them, please call the office during business hours. If you know of any temple members who are ill, hospitalized, or suffering from a loss, please contact the office so that we can provide encouragement and support. Thanks to our Oneg mavens, Judy Karnick, who's walking down the street down there now, and Carolyn Fox and Trudy Wells for providing the Oneg this evening. I have one thing that's not on here. Does everybody know that we might be able to see the, talking about God's miraculous things, does everybody know that this weekend we might be able to see the Northern Lights? Everybody know that? Take a look on probably NASA or any of the sites, but possibly we're going to be able to see them. It's such a huge storm. It went from a 2 to a 4, whatever that means. But we might be able to see them here. Okay, that wasn't on there, but I added it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. If you'll turn to page 645. In the middle of page 645, there's a little piece of Pirkei Avot. Since we're talking about how to be holy and to make the world a better place, in Pirkei Avot, right in the middle of your page, it says, "It is not your duty to complete the work, neither are you free to desist from it." And so as we spend a little time with this week's Torah portion of doing the work in the world to make it holy, we know that we don't have to finish the task, but we also must definitely participate in it. I've sung this here before, but if you don't know, I'm going to sing one part. You try it after me. Ready? It goes like this. Lo alecha hamalacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Try that with me. Lo alecha hamalacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Do one more time. Lo alecha hamalacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. You now know the first half of the song. Now you're going to learn the second part. Goes like this. Velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena. Try that with me. Velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, and then just the first few words. Velo ata ben chorin. Try that whole thing with me. Velo ata. Velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena. Velo ata ben chorin. Do that one more time. Velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena. Velo ata ben chorin. All right, we're going to take it from the top at the speed that the songwriter wrote it. It's a little bit faster. Here we go. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, velo ata ben chorin, velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, velo ata ben chorin. All right, this time we're going to turn the volume up to, from the 1.5 where it was up to like maybe at least, I don't know, like a 6 or something. I don't know. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, velo ata ben chorin, velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, velo ata ben chorin. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Please join us for Kiddush and Motzi, and please join us tomorrow morning as our celebration of Sarah's bat mitzvah continues. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, velo ata ben chorin la 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 la, velo ata ben chorin lahi batel mimena, velo ata ben chorin.